G'day trendsetters, I'm John with Gravel Cyclist. Today's video all about the good and bad of gravel group sets circa late 2023 and going into early 2024. The world of cycling components, particularly for gravel bikes, mostly revolves around two companies, Shimano and SRAM. Both companies are giants in the bicycle industry. Their influence upon bikes, ergonomics, standards, usability, functionality, and more reaches far and wide. However, there are at least 4 or 5 additional drivetrain manufacturers in the marketplace. One of those manufacturers, Campagnolo, you will likely have heard of. The others, possibly not so much. There are some other manufacturers who could make this list. I'm referring to that gorgeous rear derailleur by Ingrid Components. One thing about this video, I'm not going to tell you what group set you should buy. Much of that will depend on your budget, but I sincerely hope this video does bring to light some alternative drivetrain options you may not be aware of. Let's kick off proceedings with a lesser known group set option by L-Twoo. This company is a Chinese manufacturer, and I have seen a couple of their lower tier offerings kitted out to some bikes as I wandered about the place at Sea Otter. First up is the company's mechanical shifting and braking gear, the GR9 line. They are 11-speed and it is 1x mechanical braking with rim or disc brake. They also produced the R9 levers for 2x, again 11-speed mechanical and mechanical for the brakes. The pricing on this gear is insanely cheap, and they also offer this lever design which greatly resembles Campagnolo in 7, 8, 9 and 10 speed, and if you desire flat bar shifting, they have a ton of options there too, including 12-speed flat bar shifters. L-Twoo has front derailleurs to pair with their 2x shifters. Pricing is once again insanely cheap. Tons of options for their rear derailleurs ranging from 1x12 and 1x11 speed, and for 2x7 to 11 speed. Now I do wonder how good the quality of any of these components are, and then wonder how good is shifting on a 2x11 speed derailleur costing US $29.99 on their website. Their entire product line is available on the AliExpress website, which isn't a site I've purchased from. That website's a bit dodgy looking in my opinion. Now, if any of the viewers have tried this kit, please chime in, but do not refer to some BS fake review with some wankers facing camera view the entire time. I want to hear about real world experiences with this drivetrain. Next point, according to L-Twoo's official AliExpress store, they do offer hydro brake group sets with their own calipers. There are several options, and their GR9 gravel hydraulic disc 1x11 group set, so how well does that perform, I wonder. There's also the GRT12, which is a 1x12 gravel hydraulic disc group set, and the R9 hydraulic disc for 2x. If you browse their AliExpress store, you will see a lot more options versus what's on their official website, including their own crank and cassettes. There's a group set option called Z-Race or Z-Race, and the crankset looks a lot like a rotor knockoff, and the brake rotors themselves, they are very SRAM-esque. This next point I'll discuss I learned a while ago, and I have tried my best to obtain samples. Hello L-Twoo, how about responding to my messages? L-Twoo's ERX and EGRX systems, electronic semi-wireless shifting with hydraulic brakes for 1x or 2x, and catering to multiple speeds. The EGRX is their gravel-centric group set, and while they don't appear to have it available just yet, I understand there is a clutch of some kind which they call their friction damping system. There's the road version, which you can buy now. The complete group set is called Z-Race or Z-Race ERX and supports 2x11 or 2x12, which is quite clever, and includes an internal C-post battery that I believe connects to the front to rear derailleur, just like Shimano and FSA electronic shifting systems. More on those later. These electronic wireless hydro shifters are very Shimano Ultegra Di2-like with their button design and lever shape. Now I have to wonder, how trustworthy is this stuff? There are some user reviews on the AliExpress website, but if any real-world folks who are watching this video have tried this stuff, let me know. And L-Twoo, again, how about returning my messages so we can conduct a no bull real-world review? The next lesser-known offering is by Microshift. I said Microshift. I have experience with their Advent X group set, which is nowadays marketed as a group set for mountain biking. However, it was fitted as part of my review of the Poseidon X Drop Bar Ambition budget gravel bike, which you can see linked in the description below. Next group setup is by Rotor Components. The Rotor 1x13 speed, also 1x12 speed with a simple turn of a screw. This is the world's first 13-speed drivetrain. Here's the crazy thing. It is hydraulic everything. Hydraulic braking and hydraulic shifting. That's right. And I have ridden the pants off this group set in its 1x12 variant and its earlier brethren, the Rotor Uno 2x11 speed group set. You can see my review of that group set and the review of the Sanita Snow gravel titanium bike, which was fitted out with the Rotor 1x12 speed group set, linked in the description below. The Rotor group set is absolutely wild. It epitomizes true out-of-the-box thinking, and I believe is a marvel of engineering. With that said, whilst it has performed flawlessly in my experiences, it isn't exactly serviceable by every bike shop on the planet. After all, we're talking about hydraulic shifting. That's its Achilles heel, I believe. It's obtaining spares and so on. But if you really desire to ride something very different, this could be a group set for you. I love the aesthetics of this group set. CNC machine parts, what's not to love? Well, the shifters have okay-ish ergonomics, but undoubtedly the group set's very cool, chic and more, and pricey. For those wondering, it shifts perfectly in 12-speed mode on a Shimano 12-speed cassette, but in 13-speed mode, you're stuck with Rotor's proprietary cassette and R-Volva hubs. Now, I do wonder if you could run this group set with a Campagnolo Ekar cassettes. Next up is the world's first mechanical 1x13 speed group set, none other than Campagnolo Ekar. Right off the bat, I'm going to repeat what I said during my review of that drivetrain a few years back. I still feel it is the world's best mechanical 1x group set available on the market at the time of this video. I love Campagnolo Ekar's 38-tooth chairing option paired with their lovely 10-44 cassette. Nice one, Campy. And the rear derailleur includes a mechanical clutch. Now, not everybody likes how Campagnolo shifting works, I get it, but considering I ride Campagnolo only on my personal mechanical bikes, and have been doing so for a long time, I love how it works. You could say I'm biased. As they say in the Campy world, everything else wears out and Campy wears in. And historically, you can rebuild Campy shifters with a few little spare parts to keep it going for years. In fact, I'm still running a small fleet of Campagnolo 10-speed bikes, arguably their best shifting systems ever. I rode Campagnolo Ekar long-term on the gorgeous Ridley Canzo Fast. I am still annoyed by Campy about this bike because I did not want to return the media bike. They wouldn't even allow me to buy it. Very sad. Everything about that package and group set was bang on. I love riding around for fun at parade pace, and I love spirited riding as well. My review of Campy Ekar and the Ridley Canzo Fast are linked below. I do hope if they tweak it later on, they remove the limitation of shifting down one cog at a time. And maybe we'll see an electronic variant later, or maybe even 2x13. Another lesser known gravel option by Campagnolo, even though it's not marketed for gravel and is absolutely stellar for road as well, the company's superb Chorus 2x12 speed mechanical shifting and braking drivetrain. I reviewed this long term with the Sage Barlow Titanium. G'day Dave from Sage if you're watching, with the 4832 2x crankset and an 11-32 or 11-34 12-speed cassette. Absolute bliss ratios. There's no clutch in the Chorus derailleur, but get this, somehow I survived riding without a clutch derailleur until Shimano brought that tech into the gravel world. More on that later. I love Chorus 12-speed so much, I even collaborated with Niner Bikes to build a crazy full suspension MCR9 RDO gravel bike and the equally wild classified system that is a 1x system really, but with a 2-speed planetary rear hub that wirelessly shifts between 2 gears, emulating the effect of a big and small chainring. My no bullshit real world review of Classified and the entire build videos and so on of that crazy niner are also linked below. The final option I'll cover by Campagnolo only because it offers a 2x crank with 45/29 chainrings. The super insanely expensive Super Record Wireless. Is this group set designed for a gravel bike? No. Would you run it on a gravel bike? Probably not unless you've got your own hedge fund going on. Retail price is somewhere near US $5,000. Another interesting group set, one I haven't seen in person, by a company known as Gevenalle. Apologies if I've mispronounced that. These systems have been designed with disgusting conditions in mind, mostly cyclocross, and the way some of these gravel events go, with some of them becoming more epic than others, aka let's run you through a shitty as mud road or multiple roads and good chance you'll totally your bike. Been there, done that, not super appealing to me anymore. Single speed riders are definitely in their element here. While I may not find the aesthetics of Gevenalle shifters pleasing, I cannot imagine these shifters being affected by dodgy conditions unless fine dirt and mud particles found their way into the system, which can happen if you don't run a fully lined mechanical system. I speak from experience when I had a Campy rear derailleur housing jam up many years ago due to crud ingress during a dodgy ride. Gevenalle used to produce front to rear derailleurs, which were designed for the disgusting conditions of muddy cyclocross. Gevenalle utilized a stronger spring in their rear derailleur specifically for those gnarly conditions. These derailleurs were Shimano compatible. It's a real shame they aren't producing them any longer. Next up is a little known group set by a big name manufacturer, FSA, or Full Speed Ahead as they're often known. There are two generations of FSA Wii. There's an 11-speed version available in rim brake and hydraulic brake, and I have reviewed the hydraulic brake version of that system. That's linked in the description below, along with my review of the bike that Groupset was fitted to, the J. Gillam titanium gravel bike. The little known but latest and greatest 12-speed version is hydraulic brake only, and FSA is going to tell you, hello, this Groupset is not designed for gravel. But we do like to break rules around here. 11-speed FSA Wii is a super interesting system in that it was the world's first semi-wireless electronic drivetrain, meaning an internal C-post battery which is connected to two wires, one to the front derailleur and one to the rear derailleur. Obvious issue here, one by does not work. The shifters are fully wireless. However, I still ride an 11-speed rim brake version of this group set on a personal road bike and it still ticks along nicely. FSA are not great at marketing these group sets, which is a shame because they made market improvements with the 12-speed version of Wii. Unfortunately, I've not ridden that group set, but I would like to and run it through its paces. As an FYI, the cassette spacing is Shimano compatible for 11 and 12 speed on both versions, which is nice, but the pricing of this group set is pretty crazy. It's up there with the top tier offerings from SRAM and Shimano, which is a very hard sell. FSA also has power meter offerings on their cranks, if that's your thing. And finally, FSA has software for your phone that you can tweak and monitor the Wii system with. Now it's time for SRAM, and they are a huge company who have been kicking ass with their one-by-mechanical group sets for many years. Circa 2023, the company has pretty much shifted away from mechanical group sets. In fact, in their gravel space, they have only one group set hanging about for mechanical use. That is the recently launched Apex Explore one-by-mechanical drivetrain system. I have a video all about that linked in the description below. The rest of SRAM's lineup pretty much revolves around E-tap access technology. So let's get the obvious elephant in the room here out of the way and talk about Apex Explore one-by-mechanical 12-speed. I don't have a ton of miles on the Apex 1x12 mechanical group set, but I rode it briefly at the product launch for Apex earlier in 2023. It's very well priced, it has great ergonomics and mechanical shifting from a single lever. It makes life simple and it utilizes SRAM's clever double tap mechanical shifting technology. I cover all of this goodness in my Apex mechanical and electronic drivetrain feature linked below, but this drivetrain has many cassette options ranging from 10 to 44 and 10 to 52. I really do like SRAM's Explore concept, which centers around mostly a 10 to 44 or 11 to 44 one-by cassette. I particularly love the latter ratio. Gearing is very well thought out, almost as good as Campagnolo Ekar, where the extra 13th cog does make a difference, particularly on a 10 to 44 cassette. Apex also has flat bar brake and shifter options, if that's your thing. Moving forward, Apex also has one-by ETAP Explore, which is mind-blowing to me. ETAP is fully wireless shifting with hydraulic brakes if you've been living beneath a rock. The pricing brings it to a new level of affordability. Of course, affordable is relative, and not everybody is going to appreciate SRAM direction towards mostly electronic drivetrains. Due to Apex being one-by only, that does limit its applications a bit, but an ETAP Explore setup with Apex is sublime. I cannot honestly tell a difference between Apex ETAP Explore Access and the highest offering, the SRAM Red variant, in terms of their functional shifting. Weight is the only difference. And get this, you can also purchase a single-side power meter with this grip set for very little money. Apex relies on a spring for chain retention and not a clutch. Every SRAM ETAP Access system, no matter the level, plays with the SRAM Access app for all sorts of tweaking, and you can mix and match a lot of the components. Love that. If you need more options for your shifting with 2x, SRAM has rival ETAP Access and an Explore variant. This grip set was a game changer when it was launched, and I have a long-term review posted, linked below. Sure, it weighs more than SRAM's pricier options, but it works so well, is bomb-proof reliable, and I absolutely love the 2x wide crank, meaning wide ratio, so you get 43-30 rings, and optimally paired to SRAM's 10 to 36 cassette. This is among the best 2x group set designed for gravel cycling, and possibly the best for price. Rival also offers a nice single-side power meter, and relies again on a spring for chain retention. Continuing with SRAM, Force ETAP Access is also available in a wide variant. It was their first group set as such to offer this, and yes, I reviewed it, and yes, it's linked below. The group set utilizes high zoot, lighter materials such as carbon fiber in the brake lever blades, and the newest version of Force has a beautiful finish. If you desire to drop some coin on a really nice group set for gravel and road, it's difficult to pass Force up. I rode this group set exclusively, although with 4630 chain rings, during my long-term review of the number 22 Drifter, another amazing bespoke titanium bike made in the USA. It never missed a beat once. Force ETAP Access is available in 2x and 1x Explore, along with a dual-side power meter. Chain retention is handled by SRAM's very clever orbit fluid damper. Not a clutch, and there's no drag on the drivetrain. For those who must have SRAM's best, there is SRAM Red. It is the lightest of their components, premium materials used everywhere, right down to ceramic bearings in derailleur pulleys. SRAM has not upgraded the aesthetics of their shift and brake levers at the time of this video to resemble that of Force, but they are definitely working on something. Patents have been filed and spotted. Whilst the 2x version is really intended for road, I have ridden the pants off it during an earlier review of a 3T Exploro. I almost felt sorry for the group set, especially those fancy carbon cranks as I smacked them up, and their 46-33 gear ratios. SRAM also produces Red Explore Access, again focused around their 10 to 44 cassette, for those who must have the lightest and best 1x option from SRAM. Naturally, a double-sided power meter is available, and once again, chain retention is handled by SRAM's ultra-clever Orbit Fluid Damper. Finally, we come to Shimano. Now, I don't know who invented the clutch derailleur first, but Shimano was the first company to bring a gravel-centric drivetrain to the market. GRX Mechanical first began with 11-speed. I have reviewed it, and it's linked below of course, and recently they launched 12-speed GRX Mechanical. I was fortunate to attend the media camp for that launch. Check that video out, linked below. Say what you like about Shimano, but their mechanical offerings are well proven and reliable in my experience. I freely admit I prefer how Campagnolo's mechanical shifting works, but GRX Mechanical in an 11 and 12 speed is undeniably good. 11-speed GRX mechanical is going away, and the 1x variant was limiting on gear ratios, which Shimano has addressed with their 12-speed mechanical GRX 1x system. You get much more relevant cassette ratios. There's a 10:44, which they call unbeatable. I do wish it was 11:45, which you compare to a 40 or 42 tooth chainring. I do think Shimano needs to add a 38 tooth ring to make this selection perfect. The next 12-speed option from Shimano is the 10-51 cassette, which they call unstoppable. You need the special Shimano microspline cassette body for this, and it pairs with a 40 or 42 tooth chainring. Clearly, this is a killer option for so many 1x riders. Shimano has also made improvements with ergonomics and so on with their shift levers. During the Shimano Media Camp, this was the cassette I rode, and I was very pleased with how everything played nicely. Bomb-proof reliability, as always, from Shimano. The final 12-speed offering from Shimano is the all-new GRX 12-speed 2x mechanical. I do have this group set kicking around my house. I love 2x because I don't enjoy the bigger cassette gaps that you have with 1x. I find those gaps super annoying if you're riding in the company of others. One gear is too big, one gear is too small, and it generally sucks the life out of me. 2x has tighter gaps between gears. Shimano has an 11:34 and an all-new 11:36 cassette ratio pairing to their 48:31 2x crankset, which ironically is exactly the same as the 11-speed version but with different chainrings. Depending on where you live, both cassettes are excellent, but I voiced my displeasure at Shimano's press camp about the lack of an 11:40. On my 11-speed GRX Di2 system with 48:31 chainrings, I have rolled an 11:40 Shimano MTB cassette multiple times, which was amazing at the 2023 Rock Cobbler. Now on to Shimano GRX Di2 11-speed 2x. It's also available in 1x, but the 2x is my absolute favorite drivetrain for reliability, functionality, and ergonomics. This stuff just works, and it works well. Long-term review is, of course, linked below. Sure, it's wired, but you get killer battery life for the derailleurs. I've been riding GRX Di2 since launch, never had a single failure, but remember, like every electronic system, keep an eye on battery life. Shimano's eTube software makes tweaking the system a snap. You can switch shift buttons around, all sorts of madness. Try doing that with mechanical. Final point, I did review Shimano's R8100 Ultegra Di2 12-speed semi-wireless drivetrain on gravel. Again, link below. It's designed for road, but I'm wondering, will we see the tech in this group set coming later to market with GRX 12-speed Di2, which Shimano has confirmed is in development, but no time frame has been mentioned when I asked them this question at the camp I've mentioned a few times. I would love to know, will it be semi-wireless or something else? So there you have it, trendsetters, my video covering the good and bad of group sets designed for the gravelly roads less travelled. Well, not always, that depends on the manufacturer's hopes and desires, I guess, etc. Circa late 2023 and going into early 2024. As always, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the Gravel Cyclist YouTube channel for what I hope was interesting content. No bullshit gravel bike reviews, other product reviews, ride experience videos, and my favorite, general madness. What am I doing with my life? As all of it is released to the channel, I'll see you in the next video.